Welcome. Today I will be paraphrasing, summarizing, and sharing for the February 7th Al-Anon readings in Courage to Change and a little time for myself. We'll begin with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. I will take a minute to read this over. The question of the day is, what helps me share my own experience, strength, and hope? The passage begins with the 8th tradition, Tradition 8, which says, Al-Anon 12th step work should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. And the person who wrote this passage is saying that as members, we share our experience, strength, and hope. And that's all we can do. Nobody is an expert in Al-Anon. We simply share how it's been for us. And if we feel like we need professional help, excuse me, itchy nose, we can go outside of Al-Anon for that. And today's reminder is that we are all amateurs when it comes to Al-Anon. We share our experience, strength, and hope with gratitude. The quote is from Courage to Change. Talks about the nurturing atmosphere that comes from sharing our experiences. And that is providing a service too, when we share our experience by sharing in a meeting or talking to someone outside of a meeting. So what helps me share my own experience, strength, and hope? Well, these videos do. When I share in a meeting, that does. When I talk to Al-Anon friends, when I speak with my sponsor. Oh, what helps me share only my own experience, strength, and hope? Well, that's all I know. So that's the only thing I can talk about, is because that's all I know. Is just my perception of how it's been, how it's going, how it is. That helps me in things outside of Al-Anon too, because I can only speak from my own experience. So I try very hard not to sound like I really know what I'm talking about, because I can only say that this is how it was for me. I found, because I was a teacher for so long, and many teachers retired before me, and I ended up being one of the most senior people in my department, the most senior person in my specific job. And people would come to me looking for answers, and I think that sometimes I knew the answer and sometimes I didn't. And I think sometimes I sounded very confident in my answer, but I was only saying what I knew from experience. It wasn't that I was 100% confident. It was that this is what had happened in the past and this is what had worked in the past. So it's interesting. It's interesting in that way because obviously people who have been in Al-Anon a long time, like I look at my sponsor. My sponsor's been in Al-Anon for a long time and has been in AA for a very, very long time. And I think that that experience combined makes my sponsor very knowledgeable. But she's not, I mean, I've heard her say, I'm not sure, I don't know. And I really admire that because I feel like it's definitely a sign of strength to admit when you don't know something. As a teacher, all the time, if a student asked me something, I almost looked forward to saying, I don't know, but I'll find out because I thought it was good modeling to show that we don't have to always know the answer. And and sometimes it's the smart person who does the work to find the answer, not necessarily the person who thinks they know the answer right from the beginning. So I try to take that with me in in my day-to-day life. So, good reading as usual. These readings are really amazing. Really amazing. All right, I'm going to take a minute to look this over. To me, this reading is about just living one day at a time. The passage begins with talking about making a contribution to our sense of well-being, and it's saying that a simple action that's positive can really put us on the right track. And then the second part of the passage just lists a bunch of examples of doing something positive, like asking someone to be our sponsor, trying a different meeting, getting some exercise, going for a checkup, listening to music, cleaning and organizing, contacting a friend, meditating, going grocery shopping, doing something that may not be in our comfort zone, reading a book. It's great. Today's reminder talks about it's just acknowledging that there are so many ways to improve our quality of life. Not focusing on what we do have, but focusing on the positive things. And the quote is from Samuel Johnson. It's paraphrasing. It says to focus on the positive and that is the great art of life. It's like back to basics, keep it simple, all those slogans. Keep it simple. That just doing something small and positive can make us feel so much better if we're feeling a little bit stuck or a little bit down or a little bit I already said stuck. I was thinking like like not in motion. Stagnant was the word I was thinking of. So there are all these little tiny things that we can do, and they add up. We do a couple of little things, and then we I personally start to feel a little bit productive, and then I feel really good. So, very good. Very good suggestions. We'll close out with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Sending you love. Take care.